So this is the infamous stinging nettles, one of several different kinds. This is the European kind, and the European kind, this is introduced, has little hairs. I don't know if you can see them, but especially along the stem. Those little hairs, when they break off, are urticating, so that's what stings. You can see this one's in flower. It's wind pollinated, so it's not like it needs to be very, very colorful. But even though it's not native, it's spread all over the place. So it protects itself with that. And it's true, no, animals aren't going to eat it if it's going to be stinging their tongues, so it has relatively few predators. But having said that, I mean, I know there is at least a few things that do this. Right in this very same park, and I'm at Riverbend Park right now, I remember actually coming through and I was pulling English ivy, and I'm sorry, garlic mustard. And as I was going through, I accidentally bumped into stinging nettles, with the predictable result, of course, that I ended up with these little hairs breaking, and myself then of course getting stung. Of course, as I was feeling the sting for just a little bit, I couldn't understand how 30 seconds later I got stung again. And I looked down, and a saddleback caterpillar has actually been feeding on there. That's one of the slug caterpillars or stinging caterpillars. So I got the double whammy. I got stung by the stinging nettle and the saddleback caterpillar. It was feeding on the stinging nettle. And having said all of that, when it dries, and as you can see, not all parts have the stinging, urticating hairs, and the bottoms of our hands are usually fairly durable, that we're not going to get stung. It don't go through there very much. But once it dries, this makes excellent cordage. You can make rope out of it. It also burns very well, maybe because of the hairs, and they dry. It makes excellent tinder for starting fires. And finally, I've actually eaten it, and I'm not a fan, I will say. But when you can cook it, boil it, and when you do, it has the same consistency as spinach. It doesn't taste like spinach so much, but that's the closest thing I can think of it. And so you can eat it as well, so it's edible. So lots of interesting uses for this particular plant. We do have native ones. The native ones don't sting anywhere near as bad as the exotic ones, but this unfortunately is one of the exotic ones with, again, I don't know if you can see any of the hairs down in here, but these hairs in here are what give it the stinging properties. Maybe I can find one that's a little bit, that has a little bit more of the hairs visible. I don't know if you can make out any of the hairs at all down in here. And again, I'm trying not to get stung myself, so you can understand. But the hairs are tiny, needle-like, and those are the ones that, when they break off, of course, give you that stinging sensation. Stinging nettles, European ones.